this can be a very powerful first step in us getting another outlet for Black stories to be told. And we know that it's the hot thing right now, right? We get so many of our stories told. And the thing that I also want to point out about this is that it feels good that it's not another Black suffering. Yeah, yes, you have the slave part of it and him finding out that his girlfriend's owners used to have them. So there's a portion of that, but it's not focused. It doesn't seem like on the suffering of Black people. All right, so we're in the show, no cold open, no nothing like that. Well, I guess we already did that. So today's episode, I got two topics for you. This first one that I want to talk about is just disgusting. So Pastor Mike Todd, who a lot of people do like, and of all the social media pastors, I know it's more than just a social media pastor. That's just what I call them. He's one that I've tend to like the way that he speaks. Now, he used this thing where he wiped spit on people. Now, he did that to highlight the disgust that people had on their faces and how it relates to when people ask or look at what God asked of them to be blessed. And that was, I believe, what the message behind it was. But with a lot of these things, right, and a lot of people use social media, it's all about the attention and head grabbing. So while I do find it was very disgusting, we don't put spit on anyone. There is no excuse for that. And I really do think this is why, I don't talk about religion a lot on this podcast. For those who do know me and have listened to this for a while, you know that I used to be deacon at my church. And so, I guess technically I'm still a deacon at my church. I just don't live in that city anymore, so don't attend that church. But nonetheless, this is why I think that it's more about, for those that are religious, right? It's more about the study, the biblical study, than pastors trying to do things like this. And it's also a reason. This is what I want to highlight. I don't want to make this about religion or not. Before a time that we live, at the age that we live in, where everybody questions the motives behind everything. We have so much access to information, and especially when you do things that either trend or get on social media, it pushes people away from religion. I've always said that while I am a religious person, right? I'm more of a spiritual person, I say now, than a religious person. I understand why people are pushed away from organized religion because of things like this. Like the fact that you are a leader of people and you feel like you can use that to place your spit on them in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't give a damn what your message was. It's disgusting. And you're going to turn people off. And, some people say how you deliver the message is as important as the message itself. If you deliver a message covered in shit, people aren't going to care what the ship's wrapped around, because at the end of the day, you delivered it and you presented it as bullshit. And so it's funny that I'm cursing while talking about religion, but hell, this is what I feel, and I'm going to be honest, like I always am with this podcast. This is what turns people off from organized religion. And the fact that you mix your saliva in anything and then rubbed it all over people's faces is bullshit. And this literally would have gotten your ass beat had you tried to do that shit to me. So with that being said, I'm a Christian, I'm still being saved, right? My soul is not saved. I'm not perfect, but that would definitely be something that brings the helen out of me. And then I have to kill somebody. So with that being said, I just wanted to bring it up because it was a viral thing, and it's just what is wrong with people, right? What is wrong? And sometimes in this, the power does go to people's head, and they get so focused on trying to gain the attention and the retweets and the likes and the reposts on the stories and TikTok that you do stupid shit. Period. You just do shit that it just shouldn't be done. As a human, you should know better. So that's where I stand with that one. Let me know what you guys think, disagree, agree, whatever else it is with you. You guys already know where I sit with things like this. I have my opinion on it. I stated my opinion. Next topic during the In the Mind of Haize, and this is one that I really wanted to highlight because, as you guys know, especially if you've been following the podcast since the beginning, Kendrick Lamar is not only one of my favorite artists currently, he's one of my favorite artists of all time. And one of the things that he announced back in 2020 is this PG Lang company that he started with Dave Free. Now, the way that it was presented when it was announced is that it's going to be a multifaceted company. It really didn't seem like they could go anywhere with it. And then, of course, Kendrick in the last year or so has announced that his next album will be the last album with TDE. So people, of course, thought, okay, well, he's going to clearly move on to his own company, produce music and things like that. But we get the first announced project from this PG Lang company. And that's going to be, they are actually producing a film with the creators of South Park. And this is going to be a comedy film. But the thing in the setting in this is really what stands out to me. The setting of this movie, I guess I should say the story of this movie more than the setting. Setting is a place, a location. With that being said, though, is a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living History Museum, and he discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors used to own his ancestors. So that right there is a place for not only a that's a great setup for like a comedy type thing, especially supposed to be comedy, but also a story that has some heart, a story that makes you reflect, a story that makes you think. Some of the greatest comedies also have themes and very serious undertones that make you think and reflect back on things in society. So, hats off to Kendrick for really stepping out, starting this new project, producing his first film, because as someone who's made a film and worked on other films, that's huge, right? That's not anything to overtake. And I know the term producer in film can mean a lot of different things. Sometimes people get producer credits for literally making a couple calls. Some people get producers credit. The most important aspect, the true aspect of a producer, is basically the person who makes all the contracts, who pays for everything, who solidifies the permits and everything like that. So with that being said, this gateway into his first film, and it's also going to be distributed by Paramount Pictures. That's nothing to turn your nose up at. This is a huge thing, and especially when we get an artist, a true creative like Kendrick Lamar, who we all said before, it's not just about music with Kendrick. Kendrick is a true creative in the fact that he's going to have many creative outlets. I'm really excited to see what he does with this first film, especially, like I said, the backing behind Paramount, the fact that it already has distribution for Paramount and the creatives of South Park, right? The creatives in South Park who've been in this industry for a long time, and really their names being on anything could almost get any project produced at this point, especially with Paramount. So having them behind it is going to be huge. And even the CEO of Paramount made a statement on this, and this says, on behalf of Paramount Pictures and the wider Viacom CBS family, we look forward to ushering in the first theatrical collaboration from these creative visionaries and galvanizing audience world round around a powerful storytelling experience. Listen, this is huge. And what I'll say with this is that we all know, especially like I said, as someone who has directed their own films, right? It's important to have outlets that are Black, right? It's important to have people that look like you that are producing stories about people who look like you. And so with that being said, the fact that you have a big company behind Paramount like it, but more importantly, like I said, this is it's shaping up to be, right, a powerful, powerful film, even though it's labeled as a comedy. And it's going to be interesting to see, like, once the first trailer drops and things like that, or a cast is announced, how big and how this continues to balloon, because this is something that's not only, like I said, huge for right now. This is something that is can be huge for the culture overall. And that's not anything to really turn your nose up at or forget or overlook. This can be a very powerful first step in us getting another outlet for Black stories to be told. And we know that it's the hot thing right now, right? We get so many of our stories told. And the thing that I also want to point out about this is that it feels good that it's not another Black suffering. Yeah, yes, you have the slave part of it and him finding out that his girlfriend's owners used to have them. So there's a portion of that, but it's not focused. It doesn't seem like on the suffering of Black people, and the historic and true suffering with Black people, especially having that comedic take on it. I can't wait to really see what he does with this film. I can't wait to see what Kendrick Lamar does with this company. And, his next album, everybody knows I'm excited about. I can't wait to see all of these things. And like I said, it continues to just be important that we have outlets for our stories to be told. And that's something that for so long we didn't, or we had people in power who were trying to tell these stories who didn't experience it, right? Who didn't live in the culture, who aren't of the culture. So now us having that, us having so many avenues, so many Black creatives, so many Black directors, Black producers, and we still need more, right? The percentage of it is still extremely low. But with that being said, the fact that we have that and we're having more and more being built, it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful time to be involved and just be happy that we have stewards who are going to make sure that our stories are told correctly, with the right hand, with the right creatives. And I just can't wait to see how this continues to be done. And the fact that somebody like Kendrick Lamar, somebody who I've supported their whole career from start to finish, is doing this just makes this even more important for somebody like me. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about this film? What do you think about this company? How do you think Kendrick continues to shape it now that we're starting to get a better idea of what this PG Lane company is going to be? It's really going to be a multifaceted thing where it's music, visuals. We'll see if he starts taking on and like maybe representing some artists as well. It's just going to be great to see how this thing continues to blossom. And I couldn't be happier for somebody that I have watched their whole entire career and watched them develop not only as a person, but as a man. So that's it for the In the Mind of Haize segment today. Those are the things that are on my mind. Those are the things that's been burning, everything like that. Go ahead, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're about to take a brief break. Going to play some music. On the other side of that is going to be me and my friend Fame Black, who's getting back into podcasting, talking about fatherhood. A good, just laid back conversation. I didn't want to hit you guys over the top of the head with something deep like I did last week. So I can't wait to bring this to you guys. Let me know what you feel about it. I'll catch you after this.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.